Alright, quick update on crypto.com. So we've finally broken through this big red box that we've been talking about is our #1 resistance region. Now, if you haven't watched my previous videos and you're wondering what this big red box is, the bottom of this and this orange line right here is the 618 Fibonacci retracement level from the start of crypto.com's bull market before these Matt Damon ads started making the price go parabolic, all the way up to the candle body close on the daily, all the way up here at 89 cent. Now, if we pull this Fibonacci retracement all the way to the wick up here, then you can also see that the secondary Fibonacci retracement comes to just around this area here. I may have drawn it a tiny bit wonky, but nonetheless you can see it's round about anywhere between 48 and 49 cents. So I'm going to move that fib back just because I prefer it from the candle body close. But nonetheless, we were talking about this big red box, which you now know what it is, these two 618 regions, being the #1 resistance that we do need to hop above for crypto.com before we can get macro bullish again. And we've finally done it. So what I'd personally be looking for now is higher price targets. I do think crypto.com is going to get ready for a big tear up to the previous all-time high. So let's look at some places where we could potentially enter a trade. Now, on the fib from the high to the low in the micro term, you can see our next price target would be all the way up here at 66 cents. So personally, I would be looking for 66 cent to be hit. That would be my next target for crypto.com. Let's mark that red for resistance. And you can see that this is basically a 34% trade that we're predicting that we are going to be making. I already do hold some crypto.com, so I don't know if I'll be entering more, but nonetheless, it is, in my opinion, which is not financial advice, a fairly decent place to enter right now, considering we have broken over this big box. Now, let's see if we've backtested it yet. We haven't backtested it, but we have come up and had a slight pullback, really not too much. So all in all, I really would like to see this kind of 48, 49 region come back, be back tested as support this time because it was previously resistance, and then have a big push up. I think if we do have this pullback right here and then we do start to push up, that would be a really nice place to enter a trade. Do bear in mind I am slightly biased as to entering a trade because, like I said, I do own crypto.com and it does take up a fairly decent amount of my portfolio, so I don't really plan on accumulating any more crypto.com, but do bear in mind that I do have a slight bias on that. So take away that with that as what you will. Nonetheless, we've also got a 0.5 here around about the 53 cent. And I really don't see anywhere else where we'd be getting stuck on apart from the 53 cent. I think obviously we've broken above the 618. This is the most macro region that we did need to break above. So if we were going to come up and then temporarily come down to backtest this, I'd estimate that we'd probably want to backtest this this 618 breakout region before we do start breaking above the 53 cent region. Otherwise, this could just be a very big quick up before we do have a big push down. So I would like to see this region being broken. You can see on the daily we back tested this lower 618. We've broken above this 618 here, so I really would like to see this 618 being back tested if I was to accumulate a tiny bit more crypto.com, which, like I said, I don't know if I will because it does already take up a decent amount of my portfolio. So all in all, the next price target to really keep your eye on is this 66 cent region, which, like I said, is what was that, a 34% trade? So yeah, 34%, so definitely a decent trade to keep your eyes on. After we do break the 66 cent, I think it will be pretty much smooth sailing up until the candle body close of the 89 cent region, and then we can obviously target, 97 cent, but I'd say we'll round it up and make it $1, because I think $1 is going to be the most macro resistance for crypto.com. It was a massive resistance here, a massive psychological level when we weren't able to break above $1. So I think if we are able to break above $1, $1 on the second try up, that Crypto.com could have a massive rally incoming. Now, the RSI and the MFI are both pretty overextended on the daily, so like I said, it would be the best case scenario in my opinion if we just cooled off for a day or two, back tested this 618 region, then had a big push up. That would give both the RSI and the money flow indicator time to reset, so we can get ready for that next move up to the upside. Now, there's also a fair amount of volume coming in. I don't want to say a good amount of volume, because there's not really a good amount of volume coming in right now. Nonetheless, this can still move if this does solidly break above the 618. I think once we do, close another daily above this 618, we should see some increasing volume. And you can see we are kind of seeing an increase in volume. We've had 4 green, or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 daily. So basically a week's worth of solid green volume on this. If we do come over to the weekly as well, like I said, there's really not too much volume coming in, but the RSI and the MFI on the higher time frames do have a lot of room to push to the upside. You can see previously when Crypto.com became very overextended, when these Matt Damon ads were playing, that the RSI came all the way up to 92 and that's on the weekly, which is very over the top. Also, the RSI was well, on this chart it says it was round about the 86, but I do remember when I was invested in this all the way back here, I remember getting in to get my Crypto.com card somewhere around about the 30 cent region, and then I remember it going on a massive rally and then coming all the way back down, and I basically became broke even at this point. So it went on a massive rally, came back down to my buy price, and now it started to push up. But I do remember the RSI was much higher on the daily than 88. I think it was 90, maybe even higher than that. You can see the money flow indicator here got up to 97. So it definitely can have a massive push up, especially if we give this a little bit of time to come down, back test this 618 region that we were talking about, and then yeah, like I said, I think that's the best case scenario. If we come down to the daily, once again, coming down, back testing this region as support, because this was very strong resistance all the way through here. And I think once we do that, then like I said, it might be tempting to enter another short-term position on Crypto.com, but for me, if I was to enter, it would be a very short-term position just to make some quick gains, because like I said, I have a Crypto.com card. It takes up a decent amount of my portfolio already, so I don't know if I'll be looking to accumulate Crypto.com anymore for the long term. But like I said, I already hold some, so I am slightly biased to that. I'm happy to tell you that I'm slightly biased to that. But yeah, that's all I see for Crypto.com. On the daily, I think a slight pullback, a slight retest of the 618 region is the most healthy thing to do. But if we do look on the monthly, there's no RSI on this yet, unfortunately. If we do look at this on the weekly though, there is a lot of room for us to still push up to the upside. So I'd like to see some volume coming in. I'd like to see a back test of the 48 cent region on this 618. And then after we see that, I'd be very tempted to enter along on Crypto.com, because the chart does look very good. So that's all I see for Crypto.com. We've broken macro bullish. We're looking pretty amazing right now, and I am expecting 66 cent to come into play in the short term, and I do think $1 will be hit in the next couple of months, whether it takes 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it takes. I do think we are going to start, whether we have a massive explosion up and we just keep exploding up before we do have a local top, or the more healthy scenario, we start backtesting these supports, backtesting, taking its time, and slowly going up to the $1 mark. Either way, I think $1 is definitely in play for this year for Crypto.com, and higher price targets after that, obviously. So that's all I see for Crypto.com. Best of luck if you are holding it. Once again, none of this is financial advice, it's just my opinion on the market, and you've always got to do what's best for you. And just a side note, if you don't have a Crypto.com account, check out the description of this video. I have my link to Crypto.com. We can both make $25 from that referral. So that's only if you don't have an account. You can use someone else's link if you want to. You can use your friend's link. This just a suggestion. But yeah, cowboy out. Peace.